My child, stop scrolling. This is not random, and this is not casual. It's not too late, but you must act now. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet pressure in your chest, that sense that something in your life cannot stay the same any longer. I am speaking directly to that place inside you, and you need to hear every word carefully. Do not treat this like background noise. Stay with me. Let this message confront you, steady you, waken you. What you are about to hear is not for entertainment. It is for alignment. If you walk away too quickly, you may miss the very moment meant to change your direction. Listen closely. Lean in. This could be the turning point you have been postponing. My child, slow down for a moment and stay here with me. I want you to feel this moment instead of rushing past it. You are not reading these words by accident, and you are not standing in this season of your life by coincidence. I have been watching your heart very closely. I see the quiet tension inside you. I see the thoughts you do not share with anyone. You have been sensing that something is shifting around you, even if you cannot explain it. There is a subtle awareness growing inside your spirit that things cannot continue the way they have been. You have tried to ignore that feeling. You have tried to distract yourself from it. But it keeps returning, doesn't it? That is because I am gently pressing on your heart, not to overwhelm you, but to wake you. You are in a very specific moment in your life where your choices carry more weight than you realize. I am not saying that to scare you. I am saying it because I love you too much to let you drift through a turning point without understanding what it is. You still have time. You are not too late. You have not missed your opportunity. But you are standing at the edge of something that requires your response. You cannot remain passive here. You cannot keep telling yourself that you will deal with things later. You know exactly what I am referring to, even if you have not put it into words. There is something I have been nudging you about, something you have postponed, something you have hesitated to face. And while my grace has been covering you, grace was never meant to be a hiding place for delay. It is meant to be strength for action. I need you to understand that this moment matters because your heart is still soft enough to respond. You still feel conviction. You still feel desire for change. It tells you something important. I am still drawing you, still inviting you, still making space for you to step forward. But you must move while your heart is open. You must choose while you can still clearly hear my voice beneath the noise. You may not realize how carefully I have arranged the circumstances around you to bring you to this awareness. I have slowed certain things down in your life. I have allowed certain frustration to surface. I have let you feel the dissatisfaction that you tried to suppress. None of that was parenthood. It was preparation. I needed you to recognize that staying where you are is no longer comfortable for your soul. You have outgrown something, even if you are afraid to admit it. And I can feel your hesitation. You are worried about what acting now might cost you. You are unsure of how people will react. You are afraid of making the wrong move. But listen closely, my child. Remaining still when I am asking you to move carries a cost too. When you ignore the inner prompting I place within you, your spirit grows tired. You start to feel disconnected. You begin to question yourself. That is not because I have left you. It is because you are resisting the direction I am giving you. I do not want you living in that tension. I want you walking in clarity. Right now, you are in a window of grace. It has not closed. You have not gone too far. You are not beyond correction. You are not beyond restoration. But you are being invited to respond. This is not about dramatic gestures or public declarations. This is about you and me. It is about whether you will trust me enough to take the next honest step. I am not rushing you in anger. I am guiding you in love. You feel this urgency because deep down you know that delay has become your pattern. And I am here to gently interrupt that pattern. You are not too late, but you must act now. Not in panic, not in fear, but in trust. Stay here with that truth for a moment. Let it settle in your heart. You are at a meaningful crossroads, and I am standing with you, waiting for you to take my hand. My child, I want you to sit with me in honesty for a few moments. You have been living as though time will wait for you. You tell yourself there will be another season to repair what is cracked, another quiet window to return to the discipline you abandoned, another calm stretch of life to finally give me your full attention. You have convinced yourself that delay is harmless. But I need you to see what delay quietly does to your spirit. It dulls your sensitivity. It makes urgency feel optional. It allows small compromises to grow roots. I am not speaking to you in anger. I am speaking to you because I see the road ahead. You measure time by calendars and birthdays and deadlines. I measure it by readiness, by openness, by the condition of your heart. And right now your heart is aware. The awareness is a gift. Do not waste it. You assume that because nothing dramatic has happened yet, you can afford to postpone obedience. But life does not always announce its turning points with noise. Sometimes the most defining moments are quiet and easily dismissed. I am asking you to stop dismissing what you feel inside. Stop telling yourself that tomorrow will feel the same as today. It may not. Your clarity right now is precious. Your tenderness right now is fragile. You are standing in a window of opportunity that will not remain open forever. I say that gently, but I say it truthfully. Open your eyes. Consider how many times you sensed my prompting and chose to revisit it later. Think about how often you said, "I will handle that when things settle down." Things rarely settle the way you expect. Life keeps moving. Distractions multiply. Responsibilities stack. And before you realize it, conviction fades into background noise. I do not want that for you. I want your heart responsive, alive, wake. So listen carefully. It is not too late for you. But you cannot keep assuming you have unlimited chances to respond. The grace covering you right now is not an endless extension. It is an invitation. Receive it. Respect it. Act within it. You may feel a slight discomfort reading this, and that discomfort is not condemnation. It is contrast. It is the difference between where you are and where you know you should be. I want you to notice how your spirit reacts when truth touches it. There is a subtle stirring inside you, a mix of caution and clarity. That is not pressure from me. It is awareness waking up. Do not run from that awareness. Lean into it. Ask yourself honestly what you have been avoiding. You already know the answer. It might be a conversation you keep postponing. It might be a habit you quietly justify. It might be a step of surrender you delay because control feels safer. I am inviting you now. Look directly at it. Do not soften it. Do not rename it. Face it. When you pretend there is always more time, you train your heart to tolerate distance from me. Distance does not happen in a single decision. It grows slowly, almost invisibly. That is why I am interrupting you here. I love you too much to let you drift gradually into numbness. You were not created for a lukewarm, half-engaged walk with me. You were designed for closeness, for clarity, for conviction that leads to action. And I can see how capable you are. I can see the strength inside you that you underestimate. You are not weak. You are hesitant. There is a difference. Hesitation can be overcome. Weakness can be strengthened. But indifference is dangerous. Do not let indifference grow in you. Protect your sensitivity. Guard your responsiveness. Take this moment seriously. I am not threatening you. I am awakening you. The opportunity to respond is still in your hands. Do not assume it will always feel this clear. Step forward while your spirit still recognizes my voice. Stay with me, because this flows directly into something deeper. You have often prayed for direction. You have asked me to speak clearly. And here I am, speaking with gentle firmness. If you truly want guidance, you must also accept responsibility when guidance comes. Do not ask for light and then close your eyes. Do not ask for clarity and then postpone response. That creates internal conflict inside you. You feel unsettled not because I am distant, but because you sense what I am asking and you have not yet acted. Attention is not punishment. It is a signal. You are capable of resolving it. Move toward obedience. Take one honest step. You do not need to fix everything at once. Just begin. Even a small movement in the right direction shifts your future. Direction matters more than speed. And right now, your direction can change. It is not too late. But stop telling yourself you have unlimited tomorrows. Treat this day as meaningful. Treat this invitation as personal. I am speaking to you, not to a crowd. You are not lost in a sea of people. You are seen. You are known. And you are being called to respond while you can still clearly hear me. Do not ignore that. Do not postpone that. Act within this moment of mercy. Now I want to speak directly to the fear that whispers to you when you consider acting. Somewhere inside, you have a quiet suspicion that maybe you waited too long. You look back at your delays and think they have disqualified you from something greater. You remember the times you ignored conviction, the times you chose comfort over courage, the times you told yourself you would change and did not. And because of those memories, you shrink back. You hesitate again. You wonder whether this call to act is still meant for you. I need you to hear me clearly. You are not disqualified. Your past delays did not erase your identity. Your mistakes did not cancel my intention for you. If I were finished with you, you would not feel this stirring at all. The very fact that your heart still responds proves that you are still within reach of grace. Stop labeling yourself as a failure. Stop assuming that one chapter defines the entire story. I see your whole journey, not just the moments you regret. I see the context behind your choices. I see the fear that influenced you. I see the exhaustion that clouded your judgment. I am not excusing your delay, but I am not condemning you for it either. I am inviting you forward. Lift your head. Do not let shame keep you frozen. Shame says, you missed it. I say, you still have time. Shame says you are unworthy. I say, you are mine. Those voices are not the same. Learn to recognize which one carries my tone. My voice corrects without crushing. My voice challenges without humiliating. And right now, I am challenging you to step beyond the narrative you built around your own failure. I want you to understand something deeper. Disqualification comes from refusal, not from delay. When you completely harden your heart and choose distance without remorse, that is dangerous territory. But that is not where you are. You are wrestling. You are thinking. You are feeling conviction. That means your heart is still alive. Do not treat that lightly. There are people who no longer feel anything when truth touches them. You still feel it. That is evidence of mercy. You might think your record is too stained, your consistency too broken, your faith too inconsistent. But I am not looking at your record the way you are. I am looking at your response in this present moment. What will you do now? That is the question that matters. You cannot rewrite yesterday. You cannot undo every postponed decision. But you can choose today differently. I am asking you to release the weight of self-condemnation. It is not helping you grow. It is only keeping you stuck. You do not become holy by punishing yourself. You become aligned by trusting me enough to move when I call you. And I am calling you. Come closer. Do not stay at a distance because you feel embarrassed. I already know everything about you. Nothing you reveal surprises me. Nothing you confess shocks me. Stop hiding behind guilt. Bring it into the open. Give it to me. Let me reshape your understanding of who you are. You are not defined by your hesitation. You are defined by your belonging. Let me press this into your heart gently, but firmly. If you were disqualified, I would not be inviting you to act now. I would not be stirring you. I would not be confronting you with truth. The call itself is proof of your inclusion. You belong in the story I am writing, but you must participate. Do not sit back assuming you have ruined your opportunity. Stand up. Accept that you delayed. Acknowledge it honestly, and move forward. Do not turn this into drama. Do not exaggerate your failure into something permanent. Be sober about it, yes. Learn from it, yes. But do not drown in it. You have more strength than you think. You have more resilience than you realize. I have been shaping you even through your missteps. Nothing was wasted. Even your delay has taught you something about yourself. Use that lesson. Let it sharpen you instead of shrinking you. And now, respond. Step into this moment without dragging your past behind you like a chain. I am not holding it over you. Why are you holding it over yourself? Release it. Receive the truth that you are still called, still seen, still capable of obedience. It is not too late for you, but you must stop disqualifying yourself and start acting like someone who is still invited. My child, I want you to look honestly at where you are right now, not where you pretend to be, not where you tell others you are, where you actually are inside. You have grown comfortable in a place that quietly drains you. You have adapted to circumstances that are below what I designed for you. You have learned how to function in spiritual half-light, convincing yourself that because you are not in open rebellion, you must be fine. But you feel it, don't you? That dull ache beneath the surface. That subtle sense that something is off. I need you to understand the cost of remaining here. It may not look dramatic. It may not feel catastrophic. But staying still when I am asking you to move slowly reshapes your heart. It makes you cautious where you should be courageous. It makes you passive where you should be purposeful. You begin to settle for maintenance instead of movement. I did not create you for maintenance. I created you for momentum. When you resist my prompting, you are not just postponing change. You are training your spirit to tolerate distance. A distance may feel small now, almost harmless, but small spaces grow when they are ignored. I am speaking to you because I do not want you drifting into a version of life that feels manageable but lacks meaning. You were not designed for quiet compromise. You were formed for clarity, conviction, and closeness with me. Staying where you are may feel safe, but safety without growth becomes stagnation. And stagnation, over time, suffocates joy. You have noticed your joy thinning. You have felt your enthusiasm fade. That is not random. That is the natural result of resisting forward movement. I am not accusing you. I am awakening you. Step back and examine the fruit of your current position. Is your heart lighter? Is your faith deeper? Is your peace stronger? Be honest. If the answer is no, then why are you clinging to it? Release your grip. Stop defending what is slowly weakening you. You do not have to stay where you outgrew. You do not have to protect patterns that no longer serve your soul. Come out of this comfortable corridor. Stand up internally. Acknowledge that remaining still has a price. You are paying it quietly, but you are paying it nonetheless. Now listen closely, because I want to take you deeper. You often assume that drastic consequences are the only warning signs. You look for collapse, crisis, chaos. But erosion is quieter than collapse. The shoreline does not vanish overnight. It recedes grain by grain. That is how compromise works in you. It rarely announces itself. It whispers. It persuades. It tells you that nothing is urgent. Meanwhile, your spiritual edge softens. Your sensitivity to my voice dims. You start rationalizing what once troubled you. That gradual shift is the real danger. I am not trying to frighten you. I am trying to sharpen you. Open your eyes to the slow drift. Do not minimize it. You feel less decisive than you used to. You hesitate more quickly. You second-guess your convictions. That is not maturity. That is hesitation growing roots. I am inviting you to interrupt that process. Do not wait until you are numb. Do not wait until conviction feels distant. Act while you can still clearly sense the tension. Staying where you are is costing you clarity. It is costing you confidence. It is costing you closeness with me. You were meant for steady growth, not spiritual survival. And I know you sense this. There is a reason you feel unsettled lately. There is a reason distractions no longer satisfy you the way they used to. You had outgrown this space. Yet you hesitate because change feels uncertain. Let me tell you something plainly. Remaining stuck is not neutral. It shapes you. It molds you into someone more cautious, more guarded, more inward. That is not who you are meant to become. You are capable of bold obedience. You are capable of decisive movement. But you must choose it. Do not romanticize your comfort. Examine it. Challenge it. Ask yourself whether it aligns with the life you know I am calling you toward. If it does not, then do not defend it. Step away from it. Even if that step feels small, take it. Movement restores strength. Obedience restores clarity. When you move in my direction, even slightly, you will feel alignment return. The fog will begin to thin. Your joy will start to breathe again. I am not asking you to leap into the unknown blindly. I am asking you to trust me enough to leave what is quietly diminishing you. Staying feels easier today, but growth feels better tomorrow. Choose tomorrow's strength over today's comfort. Let me circle back to something I said earlier about grace. Grace is not an excuse to remain unchanged. It is empowerment to change. You are not being pressured by condemnation. You are being pulled by love. I see the version of you that emerges when you stop negotiating with delay. That version of you is steady, grounded, live. I am not demanding perfection. I'm asking for willingness. Give me your willingness. Surrender your reluctance. Tell me honestly where you feel stuck. Then take action. Have the difficult conversation. Remove the distraction. Reinstate the discipline. Make the call. End the compromise. Start the habit. You know what I am referring to. I do not need to spell it out. Your heart has already identified it. Do not overthink this. Do not stall. You are not trapped. You are choosing to remain. And you can choose differently. The cost of staying where you are will only increase with time. The courage to move will only feel harder if you wait. Act now while the conviction is fresh. Act now while the invitation is clear. It is not too late for you, but remaining still carries its own consequences. I am with you. I am not standing at a distance. I am beside you, urging you forward. Step into growth. Step into clarity. Step into the version of your life that aligns with my voice. Do not settle for stagnation when movement is available. I am calling you out of comfort and into purpose. Answer me. Now I want to correct a misunderstanding that has been forming quietly in your mind. When I say you must act now, you imagine something dramatic. You picture a sweeping decision, a public declaration, a life-altering leap that changes everything overnight. That image intimidates you. It makes you hesitate. But acting does not always look loud. Often, it looks deliberate and quiet. It is a decision made in the privacy of your heart that shifts your direction long before anyone else notices. You associate obedience with spectacle. I associate it with sincerity. Acting now might mean kneeling alone and speaking to me honestly instead of reciting safe words. It might mean cutting off a habit that slowly weakens your integrity. It might mean apologizing without defending yourself. It might mean declining an opportunity that looks impressive but feels misaligned. Do not complicate this. Action is not performance. It is alignment. You know the difference. Performance seeks approval. Alignment seeks truth. I am not asking you to impress me. I am inviting you to align with me. That alignment begins internally. It begins when you stop negotiating with what you already know is right. You have been holding conversations in your head, weighing options, calculating outcomes. That internal debate has lasted long enough. Resolve it. Make a decision. Then move in that direction without constantly revisiting it. When you act decisively, you regain momentum. When you linger in indecision, you lose energy. You feel drained not because life is too heavy, but because you are carrying unresolved choices. Lay them down. Choose. And commit. Let me take you deeper into what action looks like in real life. It may require humility. It may require you to admit that you were wrong. It may require you to disappoint someone. It may require you to step into uncertainty without full clarity. That is where trust becomes tangible. You say you trust me, but trust is proven in movement. If you only trust me when outcomes are guaranteed, that is calculation, not faith. I am inviting you to trust beyond calculation. You do not need to see the entire staircase to take the next step. You only need to see enough to move your foot forward. Stop demanding a full blueprint before you act. I will guide you step by step, not all at once. When you obey in small things, you build confidence for larger ones. Do not underestimate small obedience. Small shifts create significant change over time. When you adjust your daily habits, your mindset follows. When you alter your environment, your perspective sharpens. When you remove one unhealthy influence, your clarity increases. These are not minor changes. They are foundational adjustments. You have been waiting for a dramatic sign. Consider this your sign. Consider this your call. Do not wait for emotion to carry you. Act even if your feelings lag behind. Feelings follow commitment more often than they precede it. You are capable of disciplined action. Do not label yourself as inconsistent. That narrative keeps you passive. Replace it with truth. You are capable of obedience. You are capable of restraint. You are capable of courage. Begin where you are. Start with what you know. Do not search for a grand gesture. Look for the honest next step and take it. I want you to feel the simplicity of this, not the weight of it. Acting now is not about proving your devotion. It is about protecting your future. Every step of obedience strengthens your foundation. Every decisive move increases your spiritual stability. You have been longing for peace. Peace is not found in endless contemplation. It is found in alignment. When your actions match what you know to be true, internal conflict fades. You have been carrying internal conflict for too long. Release it. Choose integrity. Choose clarity. Choose forward movement. I am not demanding perfection from you. I am inviting participation. Participate in your own growth. Participate in your own healing. Participate in your own transformation. I am doing my part. I'm guiding, prompting, protecting. But you must respond. Do not reduce this to theory. Make it practical. Set boundaries. Adjust your schedule. Remove distractions. Recommit to discipline. Speak truth. End what needs ending. Begin what needs beginning. Your future self will thank you for acting now instead of postponing again. It is not too late for you, but you must translate awareness into action. Take a breath. Decide. And move. I am with you in the step you are about to take. My child, I want you to be honest with me about what is really stopping you. It is not confusion. It is not lack of information. It is fear. And I do not say that to shame you. I say it because when you name something accurately, you can confront it clearly. You are afraid of what will happen if you act. You are afraid of loss, of rejection, of discomfort, of uncertainty. You imagine worst-case scenarios. Your mind runs ahead of you, constructing mountains out of moments, turning possibilities into problems before they even exist. I see how your thoughts spiral. I see how your body tightens when you consider change. I see how you rehearse conversations that have not yet happened, how you calculate outcomes that are not guaranteed. And while you are calculating, you are delaying. While you are rehearsing, you are retreating. I need you to pause. Breathe slowly. Fear is loud, but it is not authoritative. It speaks quickly, urgently, emotionally. I speak steadily, clearly, truthfully. Learn to distinguish the tone. Fear exaggerates. Fear magnifies risk and minimizes strength. It tells you that one wrong step will ruin everything. That is not how I lead you. I guide you step by step, not into destruction, but into growth. You have survived more than you give yourself credit for. You have walked through storms that once felt impossible. You have endured nights that seemed endless. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still capable of joys. That alone tells you something about your resilience. Do not let fear redefine your identity. You are not fragile the way you think you are. You are cautious because you have been hurt. There is a difference. Hurt creates hesitation, but hesitation does not have to become your master. I am inviting you to confront your fear directly. Do not avoid it. Look at it. Ask yourself what you are actually afraid of. Write it down if you need to. Then compare that fear with who I am. Is your fear larger than my faithfulness? Is your anxiety stronger than my guidance? Do not let your imagination outrun your trust. Bring your fears into my presence. Speak them aloud. Then choose action anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement in spite of it. I am not asking you to feel fearless. I am asking you to move faithfully. Now listen carefully, because this is important. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom. You tell yourself you are being cautious, strategic, thoughtful. And sometimes that is true. But sometimes what you call caution is simply avoidance dressed in respectable language. You delay difficult decisions under the banner of discernment. You postpone obedience while claiming you are waiting for clarity. Yet deep down, you already know what needs to be done. The clarity is there. The resistance is emotional, not informational. I need you to separate wisdom from worry. Wisdom considers reality without distortion. Worry distorts reality until it feels unmanageable. You have been feeding worry more than wisdom, and worry grows when you entertain it. It becomes louder the more attention you give it. Stop feeding it. Redirect your focus. When fearful thoughts arise, challenge them. Ask, is this fact or assumption? You will find that many of your fears are assumptions stacked on top of assumptions. That mental stacking creates weight. It makes simple steps feel monumental. I want you to break that stack apart. Deal with one piece at a time. If you need to have a difficult conversation, prepare calmly instead of catastrophizing it. If you need to make a change, plan practically instead of imagining every possible failure. Bring me into the process. Ask me for composure. Ask me for clarity. Ask me for strength. I will not mock your request. I will supply what you lack. But you must cooperate. Do not wait for a surge of confidence before you act. Confidence often follows obedience, not the other way around. Take one measured step, then another. As you move, you will notice something shift inside you. Your fear will lose volume. Your clarity will sharpen. Your breathing will steady. That is what happens when you act in alignment with me. The noise quiets. The exaggeration fades. You begin to see realistically again. You are not standing at the edge of disaster. You are standing at the threshold of growth. Step across it. Do not linger there. The longer you stand at the threshold, the larger the doorway appears. Walk through it while it is still manageable. I am not pushing you into danger. I am leading you into maturity. Trust the difference. Let me draw you even closer now. I know some of your fear is not about the future. It is about your past. You have failed before. You have acted prematurely before. You have trusted people who disappointed you. So now you hesitate, telling yourself you are protecting your heart. Protection can easily turn into paralysis. You do not protect your heart by refusing to move. You protect it by moving with me. When you act under my guidance, you are not reckless. You are rooted. There is a stability that comes from obedience. Even if outcomes are uncertain, your foundation remains steady because you are aligned with me. I am not promising you that every step will feel comfortable. Growth rarely feels comfortable. But I am promising you that obedience will not destroy you. Inaction slowly erodes you. Obedience strengthens you. Do not confuse comfort with safety. Comfort keeps you familiar. Obedience keeps you alive. Right now, you are being invited into aliveness. Do not retreat into familiarity. Stand up internally. Straighten your thoughts. Say to yourself, I will not be ruled by fear. Then follow that declaration with movement. Make the call. Set the boundary. Begin the discipline. Close the door. Open the conversation. Stop waiting for ideal conditions. They rarely arrive. Act within the conditions you have. I am with you inside them. You are not too late. But you must stop letting fear write your decisions. Let faith guide them instead. Choose courage even if your voice shakes. I will steady it. Choose action, even if your hands tremble. I will strengthen them. You are capable of more than you believe. Now move. My child, I want you to recognize the season you are in. This is not a random stretch of time. This is not an ordinary phase. You are in what I would call a gentle window. It is not forced. It is not dramatic. It is an opening. Right now, your heart is receptive enough to hear me. Your circumstances are stable enough to allow change. Your awareness is sharp enough to discern what needs to shift. That combination does not happen constantly. There are seasons when life is too chaotic for clarity. There are seasons when your heart is too distracted to respond. But this is not one of those seasons. This is a window. And windows, by their nature, do not remain open indefinitely. I am not threatening you with closure. I am inviting you to value the opportunity. You have space right now to act. You have insight right now to decide. You have energy right now to move. Use it. Do not underestimate the importance of timing. You often assume that if something is meant to be, it will always remain available. That is not how life works. Opportunities are seasonal. Receptivity is seasonal. Even your own courage is seasonal. There are moments when your heart is softer, more reflective, more ready. This is one of those moments. Do not harden it by postponing response. Do not clutter it with distraction. Protect this window. Treat it as sacred. Carve out time to think clearly. Carve out time to pray honestly. Reduce the noise around you. Simplify your schedule if you must. Make room for decision. I am not asking for urgency fueled by panic. I am asking for intentionality fueled by awareness. When you sense alignment between insight and opportunity, that is your signal to act. You are sensing that alignment now. That is why these words resonate with you. That is why your attention feels anchored. Do not ignore that resonance. Lean into it. Act within it. Let me explain something further about windows. When a window is open, fresh air flows in. Clarity increases. Perspective widens. But if you hesitate too long, that window gradually closes, sometimes without dramatic notice. You do not always hear a loud sound when opportunity passes. Sometimes you simply realize later that you no longer feel what you once felt. The urgency fades. The conviction softens. The clarity dulls. And you tell yourself it was not that important after all. That is how drift happens. I do not want you drifting. I want you discerning. Right now, your discernment is active. You are aware of what needs attention in your life. You are aware of the gap between where you are and where you sense you should be. That awareness is not accidental. I am granting you perspective. Do not waste it. Take advantage of it. Set aside time today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Sit quietly. Reflect intentionally. Write down what you know needs to change. Then choose one step and implement it. Do not overcomplicate this. You do not need to restructure your entire life overnight. You need to respond within the window available. Even one decisive action will begin to shift your trajectory. I am not measuring you by speed. I am watching for willingness. And right now, willingness is accessible to you. Do not allow apathy to creep in. Guard your momentum. If you sense distraction rising, limit it. If you sense procrastination forming, interrupt it. Say to yourself, this matters, and behave accordingly. You are not powerless here. You are positioned. Positioned to respond. Positioned to grow. Positioned to realign. That positioning will not always feel this clear. That is why I am urging you gently, but firmly. Act now while the window is open. Let me bring this closer to your heart. You have prayed for breakthrough. You have asked for clarity. You have longed for forward movement. Often, breakthrough does not arrive as a sudden miracle. It arrives as a window, an opening, an opportunity to choose differently. That is what is before you. Do not overlook it because it does not look dramatic. Breakthrough begins with decision. When you decide to obey, when you decide to trust, when you decide to move, you initiate change. I will support you in it. I will strengthen you through it. But I will not force you into it. Windows are invitations, not impositions. You must step toward them. You must reach for them. You must walk through them. I am standing beside you, not pushing from behind. Look at the space in front of you. It is not closed. It is not locked. It is open. Walk through it. Do not stand there analyzing the hinges. Do not measure the width of the frame. Woo. Even if your step feels small, take it. Even if your confidence feels thin, act anyway. This season carries potential. Do not let it dissolve into regret. You are not too late, but you are in a moment that requires response. Accept the invitation. Guard the window. Step through it with me. My child, this window is not only about your personal obedience, it is also about the lives waiting to be reached through you. As you act within this gentle opening, you can sow into the spreading of my word, and every seed you release becomes light in someone else's darkness. Have I not said that as you sow, so shall you reap? I am breathing upon this moment, and even your super thanks, your membership, or your PayPal offering, yes, the link is in the description, becomes oil that keeps this lamp burning for wandering souls. Do not treat this as small. What you release now becomes manna for someone praying in secret, becomes fire for someone on the verge of giving up. If your heart has whispered, I want to help this message reach further, that whisper is my invitation. This is not about pressure. It is about participation in harvest. Step into the window. Sow the seed. Act now, and watch me multiply what you place in my hands. My child, I want you to pay attention to something very specific right now. When I speak about acting, when I speak about this window, when I speak about fear and movement, something very particular rises inside you. It is not vague. It is not abstract. It is concrete. You immediately think of that one area of your life you have been avoiding. You know exactly what I am referring to without me having to spell it out. That is what I mean by your quiet convictions. They do not shout. They do not embarrass you publicly. They whisper privately. And you have become skilled at turning the volume down on those whispers. You distract yourself. You reason with yourself. You soften the edges of truth so it feels manageable. But conviction is not meant to be managed. It is meant to be responded to. I want you to stop pretending that you are confused. You are not confused. You are cautious. You are hesitant. You are aware. And awareness carries responsibility. When you feel that internal nudge, the tightening in your spirit, that subtle sense that something needs to shift, that is me communicating directly with you. I do not always speak in thunder. Often I speak in tension. A tension you feel is not anxiety. It is alignment trying to happen. Do not mislabel it. Sit with it instead. Ask yourself, what is this really about? Then answer honestly. You already know the truth. You know where you compromised. You know where you settled. You know where you ignored your own standards. I am not bringing this up to shame you. I am bringing it up to free you. Quiet conviction is a gift. It means your heart is still responsive. It means you have not grown numb. That is something to protect, not suppress. Do not brush this aside again. Do not tell yourself you will revisit it later. Address it now. Bring it into the open. Speak it out loud if you must. Admit it without minimizing it. You will feel relief the moment you stop pretending. That relief is not weakness. It is clarity returning. Now let me take you deeper into this. You have been living with low-level internal friction because you have been resisting what you know. That friction shows up in subtle ways. You feel slightly disconnected in prayer. You feel slightly unsettled in moments of stillness. You feel slightly defensive when certain topics arise. Those reactions are not random. They are signals. Your conscience is active. Your spirit is alert. And yet you keep negotiating with it. You tell yourself that everyone struggles. You remind yourself that you are not as bad as others. You create comparison to comfort yourself. But comparison does not produce peace. It produces justification. I am not comparing you to anyone else. I am calling you higher than your current compromise. You do not need to measure yourself against others to determine whether you should change. Measure yourself against the conviction inside you. That is enough. You know when you are aligned and when you are not. You feel the difference. When you are aligned, there is steadiness. When you are misaligned, there is subtle strain. That strain have been present in you for longer than you want to admit. I am inviting you to relieve it. Not by ignoring it, but by addressing it. If you need to confess something, confess it. If you need to correct something, correct it. If you need to step away from something, step away. Do not overcomplicate obedience. It is rarely complicated. It is simply uncomfortable. And you have been choosing comfort over clarity. I am asking you now to reverse that pattern. Choose clarity, even if it disrupts comfort. Choose integrity, even if it costs convenience. Choose alignment, even if it requires humility. You will not regret that choice. You will regret continued delay. I am not condemning you. I am inviting you. I am not exposing you publicly. I am refining you privately. Accept the refinement. Lean into it. Let it shape you instead of resisting it. Let me speak plainly to your heart. Quiet conviction ignored becomes loud consequence. I do not want that path for you. I would rather you adjust gently now than be forced to adjust painfully later. You are being given the easier route. Dig it. Do not assume that ignoring conviction will make it disappear. It will simply wait. And when it returns, it may not feel as gentle. You are still in a season where adjustment can be simple. A decision, a conversation, a boundary, a surrender. These are manageable steps. Take them now. Do not wait until the weight increases. You have enough strength for this moment. Use it. I am with you in the correction. I am with you in the humility. I am with you in the change. You are not alone in confronting what you have avoided. I am beside you, not standing at a distance. Look directly at the quiet conviction in your heart. Stop renaming it. Stop softening it. Acknowledge it fully. And act. When you respond, you will feel something shift. The friction will ease. The tension will lift. Your spirit will breathe again. That is what alignment feels like. That is what obedience produces. It is not too late for you. But do not silence the whisper again. Listen. Respond. Move. My child, I need to clear something from your mind before it takes root. When you hear urgency in my voice, you sometimes interpret it as frustration. You assume that because I am pressing you to act, I must be disappointed or impatient with you. That is not the case. My urgency does not come from anger. It comes from affection. If I were indifferent, I would let you drift without interruption. If I did not care about your future, I would allow you to remain stagnant without challenge. The fact that I am speaking firmly is evidence of my involvement, not my rejection. I see further than you do. I see where certain paths lead. I see how small delays can compound into larger difficulties. And because I see that, I speak with clarity. You must understand the tone of my guidance. It is protective, not punitive. It is intentional, not impulsive. When a father sees his child approaching danger, he does not whisper casually. He calls out clearly. That clarity may sound intense, but it is rooted in love. You are not being scolded. You are being shielded. You are not being threatened. You are being warned for your own good. Learn to differentiate between condemnation and correction. Condemnation pushes you away. Correction draws you closer while adjusting your direction. I am correcting you because I want you near me, not distant from me. Do not misinterpret my firmness as rejection. It is care. It is concern. It is commitment to your growth. Let me bring this even closer to you. You carry memories of authority figures who corrected you harshly. You remember tones that were sharp, words that were cutting, expectations that felt impossible. Sometimes you project those experiences onto me. When you sense conviction, you assume I am disappointed beyond repair. That assumption is inaccurate. I do not operate from irritation. I operate from purpose. I know your frame. I understand your weakness. I see your effort, even when it is inconsistent. I am not surprised by your humanity. I am not shocked by your struggle. I am invested in your development. That is why I speak firmly when needed. Firmness is not cruelty. It is clarity without compromise. You benefit from clarity. You thrive under direction. When you resist my guidance, you create unnecessary tension in your own life. When you receive it, you experience steadiness. Do not run from my tone. Listen to it carefully. It carries wisdom. It carries foresight. It carries protection. I am not hurrying you toward disaster. I am guiding you away from it. That requires urgency at times. Urgency does not mean you are unloved. It means you are valued. If I did not value you, I would not intervene. If I did not see potential in you, I would not challenge you. Consider the fact that I am speaking to you personally. I am not broadcasting generic advice. I am addressing your specific situation. That specificity is evidence of care. Receive it as such. Let it strengthen you rather than intimidate you. Now I want you to respond differently when you feel my prompting. Instead of shrinking back, lean in. Instead of assuming anger, assume love. Instead of bracing yourself for punishment, prepare yourself for growth. You do not need to defend yourself in my presence. You do not need to hide your hesitation. Bring it openly. Tell me where you feel resistant. Tell me where you feel afraid. Then allow me to guide you through it. I am not standing over you with a list of failures. I am standing beside you with a path forward. Take my hand. Accept my correction. Act on my guidance. Do not let misinterpretation create distance between us. My urgency is a sign that I am engaged in your life. My firmness is a sign that I am invested in your future. It is not too late for you. But do not mistake my loving direction for anger. Receive it as protection. Let it motivate you. Let it steady you. Then move forward with confidence, knowing that my correction is always wrapped in compassion. My child, Come closer and let me speak to a part of you that you rarely allow yourself to think about. You have tasted regret before. You know what it feels like to look back and whisper, "I knew I should have acted." That quiet ache is not loud, but it lingers. It sits in the background of your memory and surfaces at unexpected times. I do not want that weight added to your future. I see where delay can lead. I see how postponement, if repeated, can solidify into pattern. And patterns, when left unchallenged, shape identity. You begin to think of yourself as someone who almost obeys, someone who almost commits, someone who almost steps forward. The identity is not who you are meant to become. You are not meant to live in the land of almost. I am urging you now because I want to spare you that subtle sorrow that grows when you recognize missed opportunities. Do not wait until hindsight becomes your teacher. Let insight guide you now. You already sense the significance of this moment. That is not accidental. Awareness is mercy. Regret often comes from ignoring awareness. You feel the pull to change, but you silence it. You feel the need to speak, but you suppress it. You feel the nudge to move, but you rationalize it. And later, you remember that you once knew better. I am speaking to you so that you will not have to look back and say, "I ignored the moment when I should have acted." Do not let hesitation write your story. Let obedience shape it. I am not describing some catastrophic outcome. I am talking about the slow accumulation of small regrets that weigh down your confidence over time. You deserve better than that. You were not created to carry the burden of repeated avoidance. You were designed for decisive growth. So pause and picture your future self for a moment. Imagine looking back at this exact season. Will you feel relief because you responded? Or will you feel that familiar sting of knowing you delayed again? Choose the version of yourself you want to become. Then act accordingly. I am not threatening you with punishment. I am protecting you from unnecessary pain. Let my warning land gently but firmly. Act now so that your future memory of this moment is marked by courage, not caution. Now let me guide you deeper into what regret truly does inside you. It does not only remind you of what you missed, it erodes your trust in yourself. Each time you sense conviction and fail to respond, you weaken your own confidence. You begin to question whether you are capable of a change. You start to doubt your own resolve. That internal doubt spreads quietly. It affects how you approach new opportunities. It affects how you respond to future prompting. You tell yourself, "I will probably hesitate again." And that expectation becomes self-fulfilling. I do not want that cycle to continue in you. Break it here. Interrupt it now. Show yourself that you can respond when truth touches you. You need that evidence. You need to experience yourself acting decisively under my guidance. That experience will strengthen you for what lies ahead. Regret drinks your courage. Obedience expands it. You have felt both before. Remember the times when you acted promptly. Remember how light you felt afterward. Remember the clarity that followed. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. Alignment produces peace. Delay produces friction. I want you walking in peace. I want you free from that internal tug of war. So here is my invitation to you. Choose movement over memory. Choose action over analysis. Choose obedience over overthinking. Do not let this moment become another entry in your list of postponed decisions. You are stronger than your hesitation. You are wiser than your fear. You are capable of responding now. Do not minimize this. Do not treat it casually. This is a defining intersection in your journey. Take it seriously. But do not let seriousness turn into paralysis. Let it produce decisiveness. Stand up internally and say, "I will not repeat the same delay. Then follow that statement with action. Call the person. Set the boundary. Begin the discipline. End the compromise. Start the change. Whatever it is for you, do not postpone it again. I am giving you this moment so that regret does not become your teacher later. Let obedience teach you instead. You sometimes imagine that regret only comes from dramatic mistakes. But more often, it grows from neglected opportunities. It grows from knowing you had a chance to move toward growth and chose comfort instead. I do not want your story marked by comfortable stagnation. I want it marked by courageous steps. You are not being rushed into chaos. You are being guided into clarity. Trust that. If you act now, even imperfectly, you will gain something invaluable. Integrity between what you know and what you do. That integrity strengthens your soul. It builds trust within yourself. It reinforces your relationship with me. When you align your actions with your convictions, you experience unity inside. That unity is powerful. It steadies you. It stabilizes you. It removes the subtle shame that comes from inconsistency. You have been longing for that steadiness. It is available to you, but it requires response. I am not asking you to relive your past regrets. I am asking you to learn from them. Let them remind you how heavy delay feels. Then choose differently today. You are not too late. But if you continue to hesitate, you will create another memory you wish you could rewrite. Spare yourself that. Accept my guidance. Act while clarity is present. Move while courage is accessible. Let this moment be remembered as the turning point where you decided you would no longer delay. I am with you. Take the step. My child, I know what you say to yourself when you consider acting. You tell yourself you are too tired. You tell yourself you do not have the emotional energy. You tell yourself that you have already endured enough, and that one more difficult decision feels overwhelming. I hear those thoughts. I see the weariness behind them. You have been carrying more than you admit publicly. You have navigated responsibilities, disappointments, expectations, and silent struggles. And because of that, you assume you have reached your limit. But I want you to reconsider that conclusion. Fatigue does not equal incapacity. Feeling drained does not mean you are unable. Often, what you lack is not strength but momentum. When you remain stuck in indecision, your energy stagnates. When you choose movement, your energy shifts. There is a difference between exhaustion from effort and exhaustion from avoidance. You have been experiencing the latter more than you realize. Carrying unresolved decisions drains you quietly. Each postponed action occupies mental space. Each delayed conversation consumes emotional energy. You think acting will exhaust you further, but in many cases, it will relieve you. Once you move, the weight lifts. Once you decide, the tension decreases. I am not dismissing your tiredness. I am inviting you to distinguish between depletion and hesitation. You are not as powerless as you think you are. You have endured harder things than this. You have survived seasons that demanded resilience you did not know you possessed. Do not underestimate your capacity now. The strength you believe you lack is often released in the moment you choose to act. It is not always present beforehand, and meets you in motion. I will meet you in motion. Do not wait to feel strong before you move. Move, and strength will fall. Let me bring clarity to something else. You sometimes measure strength emotionally. If you do not feel confident, you assume you are weak. If you do not feel motivated, you assume you are incapable. That is not accurate. True strength is not loud. It is not always accompanied by enthusiasm. Sometimes it is quiet and steady. Sometimes it looks like making a hard call while your voice trembles. Sometimes it looks like setting a boundary while your hands shake slightly. Strength is not the absence of discomfort. It is commitment despite it. You have confused comfort with capability. Because something feels uncomfortable, you assume you cannot handle it. But discomfort is often the gateway to growth. You are not being asked to carry this alone. I am not standing at a distance expecting you to generate courage independently. I am offering partnership. When you step forward, I reinforce you. When you speak truth, I steady you. When you set boundaries, I support you. But you must initiate movement. I will not override your will. I will empower it. Stop rehearsing your limitations. Stop telling yourself the story that you are too weak, too inconsistent, too worn out to change. That story is not coming from me. Replace it with truth. You are resilient. You are capable of disciplined action. You are able to follow through. Remind yourself of the times you have done difficult things before. Those were not accidents. They were evidence of your strength. That same strength remains in you now. Activate it. Do not sit and wait for perfect emotional conditions. They rarely arrive. Act within the conditions you have. I will supply what you lack as you go. Let me draw this even closer to your heart. You have been underestimating yourself because you focus more on your failures than your endurance. You remember the times you fell short. You forget the times you persisted. You remember the days you procrastinated. You overlook the days you pushed through. Your memory is selective, and it is not always fair. I see the full picture. I see how many times you chose integrity when no one was watching. I see how many times you showed up despite feeling discouraged. I see how many times you kept going quietly. That is strength. You not dismiss it. Build upon it. When you say you lack strength, you are ignoring evidence to the contrary. Gather that evidence. Reflect on it. Let it remind you of who you are becoming. You are not the fragile version of yourself you imagine. You are growing. You are maturing. You are more stable than you were before. And this moment is an opportunity to prove that to yourself. Act now, not because you feel invincible, but because you trust me to sustain you. Trust that I will not call you into something without equipping you for it. Trust that I see your capacity clearly. Stand up internally. Straighten your thoughts. Reject the narrative of weakness. Say, I am able with God's help. Then take the next step. You are not too late. You are not too weak. You are not too exhausted to obey. Move forward and watch how strength meets you in the movement. My child, I want to speak directly into something that has been quietly shaping the way you see yourself. You have begun to define who you are by how long you have delayed. You replay your hesitation so often that it has started to feel like part of your personality. You say things like, "That's just how I am," or "I always struggle to follow through." You speak those words casually, but they are carving identity into your mind. I need you to stop doing that. Your delay is a behavior. It is not your identity. There is a difference, and that difference matters more than you realize. When you label yourself by your hesitation, you unconsciously excuse it. You lower your expectations for yourself. You accept patterns that were never meant to become permanent. I refuse to let you shrink into that narrative. You are not the sum of your stalled decisions. You are not the accumulation of postponed obedience. You are my child. That is your foundation. That is your core. And from that identity flows strength, resilience, and the capacity to grow. Look at yourself honestly, but do not reduce yourself unfairly. You have hesitated, yes. You have delayed, yes, but you have also endured. You have also learned. You have also grown in ways you overlooked. Do not magnify your inconsistency and minimize your progress. That imbalance distorts your self-perception. I am asking you to realign your view of yourself with my view of you. You are not a chronic procrastinator in spirit. You are a developing disciple learning to respond more quickly. A shift in language matters. Words shape expectation. If you expect yourself to delay, you will. If you expect yourself to grow, you will move toward growth. Speak truth over yourself. Stop saying, I can't. Stop saying, I always mess this up. Replace those statements with honesty rooted in hope. Say, I am learning to act. Say, I am capable of obedience. You may not feel fully confident when you say it, but speak it anyway. Your mind has been rehearsing weakness long enough. Begin rehearsing growth. I am not asking you to pretend you never struggled. I am asking you to stop worshiping the struggle as if it defines you. It does not. You are more than your delay. You are more than your past pace. And you are capable of choosing differently starting now. Let me take you deeper, because this is about more than language. When you internalize delay as identity, you subtly resist opportunities for change. You avoid situations that might test your resolve. You protect yourself from accountability because you assume you will fail again. That self-protection keeps you small. I did not create you to live small. I created you to grow steadily, even imperfectly. Growth is not the absence of setbacks. It is persistence beyond them. You have already demonstrated persistence in other areas of your life. Why do you refuse to acknowledge that here? You have shown up for responsibilities. You have remained faithful in relationships. You have endured hardship without collapsing. Those are not the traits of someone incapable of change. Those are signs of strength. Yet you isolate your hesitation in this one area and allow it to overshadow everything else. That is not a fair assessment. I want you to approach yourself with both honesty and mercy. Admit where you delayed. Then refuse to let that admission become a verdict. You are not on trial. You are in transformation. Transformation requires participation. Stand up in your identity as someone who is growing. Do not wait to feel fully mature before you act maturely. Maturity develops through action. When you take decisive steps, you reinforce a new narrative about yourself. You prove to your own mind that change is possible. That proof builds confidence. That confidence fuels further obedience. This is how patterns shift. It does not happen through self-condemnation. It happens through consistent, courageous response. I am inviting you to begin that shift now. Do not cling to an outdated version of yourself. You are not frozen in time. You are evolving. Let your identity evolve with your obedience. Align how you see yourself with how I see you, capable, teachable, resilient. Act from that identity. Do not wait until it feels natural. It becomes natural as you practice it. Now listen closely, because this is where freedom begins. You are not trapped by your history. You are not sentenced to repeat yesterday. You are not bound to an old rhythm. The moment you decide to respond differently, a new path opens. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel slightly uncomfortable. But it is real. You have more authority over your direction than you think. Stop telling yourself you are stuck. You are not stuck. You are deciding. And you can decide differently. Take responsibility without taking on shame. Acknowledge your delay without bowing to it. Then step forward with intention. Do not hesitate to correct your own narrative. If your thoughts start to drift toward self-criticism, interrupt them. Say, "That is not who I am becoming." Then take a small action that aligns with your new direction. Send the message. Make the plan. Start the routine. Whatever it is for you, let your action reinforce your identity. Identity and action feed each other. I want that cycle working in your favor, not against you. You are not too late to redefine yourself. You are not too late to establish a new pattern. But you must stop accepting delay as destiny. It is not destiny. It is a habit. And habits can change. Stand up in who you truly are. Move from that place. You are my child, not your past. Live like it. Act like it. Decide like it. My child, while you have been wrestling internally, I have been working quietly. You often assume that because you have delayed, everything else has stalled. That is not how I operate. Even in your hesitation, I have been arranging circumstances, softening edges, redirecting paths you did not see. There were doors that did not open when you expected them to. There were plans that shifted unexpectedly. There were conversations that did not unfold the way you imagined. You sometimes interpreted those moments as setbacks. But I was adjusting timelines, repositioning you, protecting you from outcomes you were not ready to handle. You see your delay as wasted time. I see it as a season of preparation. It does not excuse continued hesitation, but it should reassure you that nothing has been pointless. I have been building depth in you. I have been strengthening discernment in you. I have been allowing certain frustrations to surface so you would recognize misalignment. Even your discomfort has served a purpose. Do not assume I have been inactive because you have been uncertain. I have been active behind the scenes. I have been aligning details beyond your view. That is why this moment carries weight. It is not random. It is the intersection of my preparation and your awareness. I need you to recognize that you are not starting from zero. You are stepping into something I have been shaping. That should give you confidence. You are not leaping into chaos. You are moving into alignment. Look back carefully at recent months in your life. Notice the subtle shifts. Notice the relationships that chain you. Notice the opportunities that redirected. Notice the lessons that surfaced repeatedly. Those were not coincidences. They were part of a larger pattern. I was speaking through circumstances, not just words. I was positioning you. And now you are at a place where your response matters more than ever. Do not overlook the groundwork that has already been laid. You are prepared more than you think. Trust that preparation. Trust that I have not wasted your waiting. But now that the preparation has done its work, it is time for participation. I will not complete your obedience for you. I have prepared the ground. You must plant the step. Let me bring you into a deeper understanding of this quiet work. Growth often happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible above it. Think of a seed. Long before you see green breaking through soil, roots are forming underground. That unseen development is essential. Without it, the visible growth would collapse under pressure. In your life, I have been strengthening roots. I have been deepening your understanding. I have been refining your motives. You have matured in ways you have not fully acknowledged. The struggles you endured were not only obstacles, they were training. The disappointments you faced were not only losses, they were lessons. The waiting you disliked was not empty, it was formative. I was cultivating patience in you. I was sharpening discernment in you. I was exposing weak foundations so they could be reinforced. That is not grammatic language. It is practical reality. You are more aware now than you were before. You are more cautious in healthy ways, You are more reflective. Those qualities were developed in the waiting. Do not dismiss them. But understand this clearly. Preparation is not the final goal. It is the prelude. There comes a moment when roots must support growth above ground. That is where you are now. The unseen work has positioned you. The visible step is your responsibility. Do not cling to preparation as an excuse for continued delay. Preparation without participation becomes stagnation. You have been prepared. Accept that truth. Then act on it. If you hesitate now, it is not because you are unready. It is because you are afraid. And we have already addressed fear. Return to that truth. You are capable. You are equipped. You are not stepping into unfamiliar territory alone. I am with you in what unfolds next. Trust the process that brought you here. Then trust yourself enough to move forward. And now let me speak directly to your confidence. Sometimes you assume that because the work was quiet, it was insignificant. You prefer dramatic confirmation. You want visible signs. But subtle shaping is often more powerful than loud events. You have been shaped steadily. You have been guided gently. You have been corrected quietly. That is intentional. Loud correction can embarrass. Gentle shaping transforms. I chose the latter for you. Recognize the care in that. Recognize the patience in that. You are not being rushed without support. You are being invited into the next phase of what has already been forming. Stand up with that awareness. Do not approach this moment as though you are unprepared. Approach it as someone who has been refined for it. Speak to yourself with that confidence. Say, I have been prepared for this. Then act accordingly. The work I have been doing is not finished, but it has reached a point where your cooperation is required. I will continue to guide you, but I will not override your will. Step into what has been building quietly. Do not doubt the process. Do not minimize the preparation. It is not too late for you. In fact, you are right on time. But now that you see the groundwork beneath you, respond with courage. Move forward with awareness. Participate in what I have been shaping. This is your moment to align preparation with action. Take it. My child, I want you to imagine something very real for a moment. Imagine what begins to shift inside you the instant you stop negotiating and simply say yes. Not a loud performance. Not a dramatic announcement. Just a quiet, firm, internal yes. You underestimate what that does in the unseen parts of you. When you say yes to me, you are not merely agreeing with an idea. You are aligning your will with mine. That alignment releases something steady in your spirit. The internal tension you have been carrying begins to loosen. A mental back and forth quiets. The subtle strain you have felt when you pray starts to dissolve. You may not see fireworks. You may not feel an emotional surge. But you will sense a settling. That settling is peace, beginning to anchor itself inside you. You have been craving that anchoring more than you admit. You want clarity without conflict. You want direction without constant doubt. Saying yes is the doorway to that clarity. It does not solve everything at once, but it corrects your trajectory. And trajectory matters more than tempo. The direction of your heart determines the destination of your life. When you choose yes, you choose movement over maintenance. You choose growth over comfort. You choose trust over tight control. Do not underestimate the power of that shift. You think saying yes is small because it happens privately. But private decisions shape public outcomes. Private alignment produces public strength. I am asking you now, stop delaying that internal agreement. Stop revisiting the same debate. Resolve it. Speak your yes clearly, even if your voice trembles in the quiet. Then act in accordance with it. When your yes becomes visible through your actions, you will notice something else. Your confidence will begin to rebuild. You will start trusting your own obedience again. The trust strengthens you for future decisions. It creates momentum. And momentum, once regained, carries you forward more easily than you expect. Say yes. Do not wait for ideal conditions. Do not wait for complete emotional certainty. Agreement precedes assurance. Move first. Assurance follows. Let me take you deeper into what happens beyond your awareness when you say yes. There are layers of resistance that have built up in you over time. Some came from fear. Some came from disappointment. Some came from pride. Those layers act like filters, dulling your spiritual sensitivity. When you say yes sincerely, those filters begin to thin. You become more perceptive. You become more responsive. You begin noticing my guidance more clearly in daily moments. Your yes opens your attention. It sharpens your discernment. You start recognizing opportunities for growth where you once saw inconvenience. You begin to see discipline as development rather than restriction. The transformation in perspective changes everything. The same circumstances that once irritated you begin to instruct you. The same responsibilities that once drained you begin to refine you. Your yes shifts the lens through which you interpret your life. And with that shift comes renewed purpose. I want that for you. I want you operating from alignment, not inner argument. When your heart is aligned, you do not waste energy resisting me. You channel that energy into becoming who you were meant to be. That is why I urge you to respond now. Your yes is not for my benefit. It is for yours. I am not incomplete without your obedience. You are the one who suffers when you resist growth. I am inviting you into a cleaner, clearer connection with me. Say yes and watch how your prayers change. Say yes and observe how your discipline strengthens. Say yes and notice how your courage stabilizes. Do not treat this lightly. Agreement with me is not passive. It is powerful. Make it intentional. Make it decisive. Then follow through. If you stumble afterward, stand up quickly. Your yes does not require perfection. It requires persistence. Keep aligning. Keep adjusting. Keep responding. That is how momentum builds. Now listen carefully to this truth. When you say yes, opposition may not disappear instantly. You may still face discomfort. You may still encounter resistance. But there is a difference between struggling while aligned and struggling while resisting. When you are aligned, struggle refines you. When you are resisting, struggle frustrates you. I want your challenges to refine you, not exhaust you. Your yes positions you differently. It grounds you. It steadies you. It gives you an internal compass. You will know where you stand. That certainty reduces confusion. It strengthens resolve. It clarifies boundaries. You will begin to notice yourself responding differently in situations that once triggered hesitation. That is growth. Do not dismiss it. Celebrate it quietly. Acknowledge it. Then continue moving forward. Your yes is not a one-time event. It is a posture. But it begins with a decision. Make that decision now. Speak it internally. Confirm it with action. Align your habits with it. Adjust your schedule if necessary. Remove what conflicts with it. Strengthen what supports it. Do not let this moment slip into another postponed intention. Say yes fully. Say yes sincerely. Say yes without condition. Then walk in that agreement. I am with you in every step that follows. It is not too late. But do not keep withholding your yes. Release it. Let alignment begin. Beloved, your yes is not only for your own alignment, it is fuel for a greater flame. When you say yes to supporting this mission through super thanks, membership, or a PayPal gift in the description, you are aligning your resources with my river of truth. I told you that obedience restores trajectory. Now let your generosity accelerate it. Each gift becomes a seed cast into fertile ground, and I declare to you, as I have always declared, I am not mocked. What is sown in faith produces a harvest of righteousness. Do you feel the nudge to help carry this word further? That nudge is my voice inviting you into partnership. Your giving becomes oil in the lamp, ensuring that this light does not dim for those still searching. Do not delay your yes in this either. Confirm it with action. Give now, and I will bless, guard, and multiply what you release for my glory. My child, there is something I need you to confront honestly. You want to obey me, but you also want to control the outcome. You want to step forward, but only if you can guarantee how things will unfold. You want clarity, but only if it arrives with certainty. Attention has been exhausting you. You are trying to hold two opposing postures at once. Obedience requires trust. Control demands prediction. Those two do not coexist peacefully. As long as you insist on managing every detail, your obedience will remain partial. I see how tightly you grip certain areas of your life. You plan carefully. You anticipate reactions. You analyze possibilities. None of that is inherently wrong. But when your planning becomes an attempt to eliminate dependence on me, it becomes a barrier. I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I'm asking you to release excessive control. There is a difference. Wisdom prepares. Control clings. You have been clinging. And the tighter you hold, the more anxious you become. You replay scenarios in your mind, trying to anticipate every response. That mental rehearsal drains you. It keeps you in constant alertness. You call it responsibility. Often it is fear wearing responsibility's clothing. I am inviting you to loosen your grip. You do not need to predict every reaction to obey me. You do not need to secure every outcome before you act. Trust that I see beyond your field of vision. Trust that I can handle the variables you cannot calculate. When you attempt to control everything, you limit your own growth. Growth requires stepping into spaces where not everything is known. That uncertainty is not danger, it is dependence. And dependence on me is not weakness, it is strength. Release control deliberately. Acknowledge where you have been overmanaging. Then choose to act even when you cannot foresee every consequence. That is obedience matured by trust. Let me go deeper, because this issue of control touches your identity. You feel safer when you manage details. You feel competent when you anticipate outcomes. That competence has served you in many areas of life. But it has also created an illusion that you are responsible for securing everything. You are not. You are responsible for obedience, not outcome. That distinction will free you if you accept it. When you focus on outcome, you carry weight that does not belong to you. When you focus on obedience, you carry only your part. Your part is response. My part is orchestration. When you blur those roles, you become overwhelmed. I see how often you exhaust yourself trying to calculate how people will react, how circumstances will unfold, how timing will align. And in that calculation, you delay action. You tell yourself you are waiting for the perfect arrangement. Perfection rarely announces itself. It develops through participation. Act first in alignment with what you know to be right. Then allow me to handle what unfolds next. This does not mean you abandon responsibility. It means you release obsession. There is a difference between preparing and controlling. Preparation equips you. Control consumes you. You have felt that consumption. It manifests as restlessness. It shows up as mental fatigue. It keeps you awake at night replaying possibilities. I do not want that for you. I want you to rest and trust. That rest is not passivity. It is confidence in my involvement. Loosen your grip on the outcome. Open your hands. Tell me explicitly I release control. And act. Let your obedience be clean and simple, not entangled with contingency plans. When you free yourself from the need to predict everything, you will notice your anxiety decreasing. You will feel lighter. You will move more decisively. That is the fruit of surrendered control. Now hear this clearly, because it will shape your next steps. You cannot move forward while dragging control behind you like an anchor. It slows you. It complicates you. It distorts your motives. If you obey only when outcomes favor you, your obedience is conditional. I'm inviting you into something deeper. Obey because you trust me, not because you trust the forecast. Trust that I am capable of managing reactions. Trust that I am able to redirect if needed. Trust that I can sustain you even if circumstances shift unexpectedly. You are not stepping into a void. You are stepping into partnership. Release the need to script every scene of your future. Live the next scene faithfully. Do what is right. Speak what is honest. Set the boundary. Begin the discipline. End the compromise. Then let me handle the ripple effects. You do not have to micromanage the ripple. You only need to initiate the stone. Throw it with confidence. I will oversee the waves. It is not too late for you. But you must decide whether you value control more than obedience. You cannot carry both without conflict. Choose trust. Choose surrender. Choose forward movement. Open your hands. Step forward. I am holding what you cannot. My child, I want you to step outside of this exact moment and look ahead for a few minutes. Not with anxiety, not with overanalysis, just with awareness. Picture yourself 1 year from now. Picture yourself looking back at this season, remembering the tension you feel right now, remembering the choice in front of you, remembering the quiet urgency that has been stirring in your chest. I want you to ask yourself honestly what that future version of you would thank you for. Would that version of you be grateful that you acted with courage? Or would that version carry the familiar ache of delay, wondering why you hesitated again? You rarely consider how your present obedience shapes your future stability. You think in terms of immediate discomfort or immediate relief. But I see the long arc of your life. I see how today's small decision becomes tomorrow's foundation. I see how a simple yes now protects you from avoidable pain later. You are not just deciding for this week. You are deciding for the person you are becoming. And that person deserves strength, not stagnation. That person deserves clarity, not confusion. That person deserves peace, not repeated internal arguments. When you delay, you pass forward unresolved tension. When you act, you pass forward momentum. Think about that carefully. You are building the internal architecture of your future self. Each decision reinforces beams of confidence or cracks of doubt. Do not underestimate how deeply this matters. You have longed to become more decisive, more grounded, more spiritually mature. That transformation does not happen in theory. It happens in moments like this. I am asking you to care about who you are becoming. Do not just think about what feels easiest today. Think about what will strengthen you tomorrow. You have a responsibility to your own future growth. Honor that responsibility. Make a choice that your future self will look back on with gratitude instead of regret. I am not asking you to predict every detail of your life. I am asking you to value the trajectory of your character. Character compounds over time. Integrity compounds. Discipline compounds. So does hesitation. So does avoidance. Choose what you want compounded in your life, then act accordingly. Now I want you to consider something deeper. When you delay, you do not stay neutral. You subtly reinforce a pattern that will surface again later. The next time conviction arises, your mind will remember that you postponed before. It will become slightly easier to postpone again. That is how habits form. Not through dramatic rebellion, but through repeated small reluctance. You are shaping habits right now. You are teaching yourself how to respond to truth. If you teach yourself to hesitate, hesitation will feel natural. If you teach yourself to respond promptly, responsiveness will feel natural. Which rhythm do you want embedded in your life? Think beyond emotion. Think beyond temporary comfort. Consider the pattern you are establishing. I want your future self to inherit a rhythm of obedience. I want you to reach a point where responding to me becomes instinctive, not debated. That kind of responsiveness is built through repeated decisions to act, especially when it would be easier to delay. You are laying groundwork for that rhythm today. Do not treat this as isolated. It is connected. It is cumulative. It is formative. Imagine waking up months from now with a stronger sense of spiritual stability because you chose to act when it mattered. Imagine facing new challenges with greater confidence because you have proven to yourself that you can move decisively. That future is not imaginary. It is constructed step by step, and this step is part of it. Do not rob your future of present obedience. Do not pass along avoidable weakness. Pass along strength. Pass along courage. Pass along integrity. You have the authority to influence the quality of your own tomorrow. Use it wisely. Decide with maturity. Decide with foresight. Decide with purpose. And follow through. Let me bring this close to your heart. I know you sometimes struggle to imagine yourself stronger than you are now. You carry old disappointments. You carry memories of inconsistent follow-through. You doubt your ability to become more stable. But growth is not instant. It is incremental. And the increments accumulate. One step taken today shifts your trajectory. One honest action alters your internal story. You begin to see yourself differently when you respond differently. The change in self-perception is powerful. It builds a quiet confidence that is not loud but steady. I want that steadiness in you. I want you to trust yourself under my guidance. That trust begins here. Act not just for today's relief but for tomorrow's resilience. Stand up with that broader vision. Speak to yourself with maturity. Say, I am building my future through this choice. Then act in alignment with that statement. You are not too late to influence who you become. In fact, you are exactly at the moment where influence is strongest. Choose to become someone who acts promptly when truth is clear. Choose to become someone who does not drag hesitation forward. Your future self is watching this decision. Honor that version of you. Take the step now. My child, I want to shift your perspective gently but firmly. You often imagine change as distant, dramatic, and overwhelming. You picture it as a mountain too steep to climb or a transformation too complex to initiate. That imagination discourages you before you even begin. But the truth is simpler than your fear suggests. You are closer than you think. The gap between where you are and where you need to be is not as wide as you assume. It feels wide because you focus on the entire journey at once. You look at the horizon instead of the next step. That makes progress feel impossible. I want you to narrow your focus. Stop measuring the full distance. Measure the immediate movement. What is the very next obedient action? Not the 10 steps after that. Not the full outcome. Just the next one. You already know it. It is not mysterious. It is not hidden. It is clear enough for you to identify. That clarity proves something important. You are not far off. If you were far off, you would not recognize the step at all. The fact that you can see it means you are positioned near it. Do not exaggerate the distance. That exaggeration is fueled by fear, not reality. You do not need to reconstruct your entire life tonight. You need to respond to what is in front of you. Change is not a leap across a canyon. It is a shift in direction. Even a slight turn alters where you end up over time. Do not dismiss small turns. They are powerful. You are closer to alignment than you believe. Stop telling yourself you are far behind. Stop imagining that you must make up for years in a single day. That thinking paralyzes you. Instead, anchor yourself in the present. Ask, what is my next faithful step? Then take it. That is how closeness becomes movement. You sometimes measure closeness by emotion. If you do not feel intense conviction or overwhelming passion, you assume you are distant. But proximity to change is not always emotional. It is often practical. It is the ability to recognize what needs to shift. You have that recognition. That means you are near. You are not wandering blindly. You are not lost in confusion. You are standing at the edge of decision. That edge may feel intimidating, but it is not far from growth. It is the threshold of growth. And thresholds are meant to be crossed, not stared at endlessly. I am inviting you to stop pacing back and forth in front of the doorway. Walk through it. You do not need to see the entire room to enter it. You only need to step forward. You are not waiting for clarity. You are delaying movement. Be honest about that. Clarity has already been given in sufficient measure. The next step is not hidden. It is simply uncomfortable. Do not let discomfort convince you that you are unprepared. You have been prepared. You have been shaped. You have been guided quietly. You are closer than you realize. Close enough to act. Close enough to align. Close enough to experience relief the moment you move. Imagine the weight lifting once you stop debating and start doing. That relief is not fantasy. It is the natural result of alignment. Do not deprive yourself of it by prolonging indecision. The distance between hesitation and obedience is one step. Take it. And now listen carefully, because this truth carries hope. You are not trying to manufacture something from nothing. You are responding to something already forming within you. Growth hath been happening gradually. Your awareness has sharpened. Your desire for integrity has deepened. Your tolerance for compromise has weakened. Those shifts indicate proximity to breakthrough. You are not at the beginning of awareness. You are near the point of action. Do not retreat now. Do not tell yourself that you need more time to prepare. Preparation has done its work. Now movement must begin. I am not asking you to sprint. I am asking you to step. One step, then another. Each step reduces the perceived distance further. Before you realize it, what once felt overwhelming will feel manageable. But that only happens if you initiate movement. You are closer than you think to peace. Closer than you think to stability. Closer than you think to renewed confidence. Do not let fear exaggerate the space between you and growth. Shrink that space through action. Speak to yourself with truth. Say, I'm not far from obedience. I am one step away. Then take that step. I am with you in it. It is not too late. And you are not as far behind as your mind suggests. Move forward. My child, there is something you need to understand before you take your next step. You are not afraid of obedience itself as much as you are afraid of what might follow it. You worry about consequences. You think about reactions, ripple effects, awkward conversations, uncomfortable adjustments. You imagine what obedience could cost you socially, emotionally, even financially. I see those thoughts forming. I know how quickly your mind can move from decision to disaster. Let me slow that down. Consequences are not always punishments. Sometimes they are simply transitions. When you change direction, movement happens around you. That movement can feel unsettling, but unsettling is not the same as unsafe. You have equated discomfort with danger, and that equation is inaccurate. If obedience leads to tension, I will be in that tension with you. If obedience leads to loss, I will be your stability in that loss. If obedience leads to misunderstanding from others, I will guard your heart from bitterness. Do not assume that because something is difficult it is destructive. Growth often carries friction. Refinement often carries resistance. But I do not abandon you in those spaces. I walk inside them with you. You will not face what follows alone. Hear that clearly. You will not stand alone in the aftermath of your obedience. I will steady your voice when conversations grow uncomfortable. I will calm your thoughts when doubt tries to creep back in. I will reinforce your resolve when others question your choice. You are not stepping into a void. You are stepping into partnership. Trust that partnership. Stop imagining worst-case outcomes without factoring in my presence. Your calculations are incomplete when you remove me from them. Add me back into the equation. When you do, the picture changes. The consequences of obedience are never faced in isolation. They are navigated with me. Let that truth reduce your fear. Let it steady your hands. Then move forward. Now let me speak to the part of you that fears losing something familiar. You have built routines, relationships, and rhythms around your current way of living. Obedience may disrupt those patterns. You may need to set new boundaries. You may need to say no where you once said yes. You may need to let go of habits that once felt comforting. The transition can feel like loss, even when it is necessary. But consider this carefully. What you lose in compromise, you gain in clarity. What you release in comfort, you receive in strength. I am not exaggerating when I tell you that the peace waiting on the other side of obedience outweighs the discomfort of change. You may not see it immediately. You may need to walk through an adjustment period. But stability grows in that space. You have been living with subtle internal conflict for a while now. Obedience resolves that conflict. Even if external circumstances shift, internal alignment strengthens. And internal alignment is priceless. I want you to experience that steadiness. I want you to wake up without the low-level friction that has been draining you. That friction has been the cost of delay. Obedience removes it. Do not focus only on what you might lose. Consider what you stand to gain. Clearer conscience, deeper peace, stronger character, renewed confidence. Those gains are not temporary. They compound over time. You will look back and realize that what felt risky was actually restorative. But you will only discover that if you step forward. You not stand frozen by imagined consequences. Act with trust. Let me handle the unfolding details. You do not need to script the entire outcome. You need to initiate the right action. Then allow me to guide you through what follows. Let me bring this closer to your heart, in a very personal way. You have faced consequences before in your life. Some were painful. Some were surprising. Yet you are still here. You survived. You adapted. You learned. Why do you assume that obedience will undo you when past challenges did not? You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You are more resilient than you acknowledge. And now you will not be facing consequences alone. I am actively involved in your growth. That involvement changes everything. When you act under my guidance, even setbacks serve your development. Even misunderstandings refine your patience. Even temporary discomfort deepens your maturity. That is how I work in your life. Nothing is wasted. So stop letting the fear of consequences dictate your choices. Replace that fear with trust in my presence. Tell yourself, whatever follows, I will not walk through it alone. Then act accordingly. Take the step you have been avoiding. Have the conversation. Establish the boundary. Make the adjustment. And when consequences arise, come to me immediately. Do not retreat. Do not isolate. Bring your emotions to me. Bring your frustration to me. Bring your questions to me. I will not turn you away. I will steady you in real time. It is not too late for you, and the consequences you fear are not stronger than my faithfulness. Move forward with confidence. I am with you in what follows. My child, I want to address something subtle but powerful. After hearing truth, after feeling conviction, after sensing this invitation to act, you have a tendency to reach for distraction. It happens almost automatically. You pick up your phone. You scroll. You turn on noise. You busy yourself with tasks that feel productive but are not essential. You do this because conviction is uncomfortable. Stillness exposes what needs attention, and distraction is an easy escape. I need you to resist that impulse this time. Do not numb this moment. Stay present with what you are feeling. Sit in it. Let it breathe. You are at a crossroads, and crossroads require clarity, not noise. When you immediately drown conviction in entertainment or busyness, you delay transformation. You convince yourself that you will think about it later, but later rarely carries the same weight. The clarity you have right now is sharp. It is precise. It is personal. Protect it. Guard it. Do not trade it for temporary comfort. You know how quickly moments like this can fade. By tomorrow, your schedule may be full. By next week, your attention may be divided. Right now, your awareness is focused. Use that focus. Do not allow yourself to slip into autopilot. Stay intentional. Turn off unnecessary noise. Create space to reflect. Ask yourself direct questions. Write down what you know needs to change. Do not trust your memory to preserve this conviction. Capture it and act on it before it softens. This moment is fragile. Treat it with respect. Now let me explain why numbing is so dangerous. It creates the illusion of relief without resolving the issue. When you distract yourself, the tension temporarily decreases. You feel lighter for a while, but the underlying misalignment remains. It resurfaces later, often stronger than before. That cycle of conviction and distraction exhausts you over time. It makes spiritual growth feel inconsistent and frustrating. I do not want you trapped in that cycle. Break it here. When you feel the urge to escape into noise, pause instead. Take a deep breath. Stay with the discomfort long enough to understand it. Discomfort is often a doorway to clarity. If you rush past it, you miss the lesson. You have done this before. You have felt conviction, then buried it under activity. You told yourself you would address it later, and later turned into weeks or months. Do not repeat that pattern. Stay engaged. If necessary, remove yourself from distractions physically. Go somewhere quiet. Turn off your devices. Sit alone for a few minutes. Pray honestly. Ask me to deepen your resolve. I will meet you there. You are not required to figure everything out instantly, but you are required to remain present long enough to respond intentionally. Do not anesthetize your conscience. It is functioning properly. Let it guide you. Let it refine you. Let it pull you toward action. You will thank yourself for staying present instead of escaping. Let me speak directly to your will now. You have control over what you allow to fill your attention. You can choose to scroll or you can choose to reflect. You can choose to distract or you can choose to decide. The choice matters more than you think. Moments of conviction are like sparks. If you nurture them, they ignite change. If you smother them, they fade. Right now, a spark is present in you. Do not smother it. Feed it with focus. Feed it with prayer. Feed it with decisive movement. Even if you take only one small action tonight, let it be intentional. Let it mark this moment as different from previous ones. Show yourself that you can stay present with truth instead of escaping from it. A discipline will strengthen you for future moments. You are not too late. But if you numb this moment, you will weaken its impact. Stay awake. Stay aware. Stay engaged. Turn toward conviction instead of away from it. I am here in this stillness. Meet me here. Do not run. Do not distract. Decide and move. My child, I want you to understand something that will change the way you see this entire moment. Acting now is not about earning my approval. You already have my love. You already have my attention. You already belong to me. This invitation to move is not a test to determine whether you are worthy. It is mercy. Pure mercy. Mercy is not just forgiveness after failure. It is guidance before deeper pain. When I urge you to act now, I am not demanding performance. I am protecting your peace. I am steering you away from unnecessary sorrow. You sometimes assume that delay is harmless because nothing dramatic happens immediately. But delay quietly compounds tension. It stretches discomfort. It allows small misalignments to grow roots. When I say, act now, I am offering you relief sooner rather than later. I am shortening the distance between you and freedom. That is mercy. I could allow you to continue drifting until the consequences became loud enough to force change. But I am choosing gentler correction. I'm choosing earlier intervention. That is care, not criticism. That is compassion, not control. Receive it that way. Stop interpreting my urgency as pressure. See it as protection. You are not being pushed into something harsh. You are being invited into something healthier. Acting now will simplify your life. It will clear mental clutter. It will reduce internal conflict. It will strengthen your spiritual stability. You will feel lighter once you respond. You will feel clear once you align. That lightness is not imaginary. It is the natural result of integrity restored. Do not postpone relief that is already within reach. Do not drag this tension forward into another week, another month. Mercy is present right now. Step into it. Act while the path is clear. Do not overthink what you already know. Obey in simplicity. You will discover that obedience is not a burden, it is a release. Now let me take you deeper into this mercy. You have experienced seasons where correction came through hardship. You have learned lessons the long way before. You have walked through consequences that could have been softened had you acted sooner. I do not bring that up to shame you. I bring it up to remind you that earlier obedience often reduces later difficulty. When you respond quickly, you prevent complications from multiplying. You reduce the ripple effect of compromise. You protect relationships from unnecessary strain. You preserve your own clarity. Think of it this way: a small adjustment today can prevent a major repair tomorrow. That is not exaggeration. That is wisdom. And I am offering you wisdom in this moment. Do not resist it. Embrace it. You are not weak for needing guidance. You are wise for receiving it. When you act now, you align yourself with my protective care. You cooperate with my desire to see you flourish. You shorten the road to restoration. I am not demanding immediate perfection. I am inviting immediate participation. Take one clear step. That is enough to begin. You do not have to resolve everything at once, but you do have to respond. Mercy is not passive. It is active grace. It opens doors, but you must walk through them. The door is open right now. Walk through it. Stop hesitating at the threshold. Do not tell yourself you will respond when you feel more ready. You are ready enough. You are aware enough. You are capable enough. Act within that sufficiency. I will support you in what follows. Let me speak directly to your heart once more. There is a tenderness in this moment that you must not overlook. You are being warned before harm deepens. You are being corrected before damage spreads. You are being invited before regret settles. That is mercy. Accept it with gratitude, not resistance. Instead of bracing yourself defensively, soften your heart. Say, "Thank you for guiding me early." Then act with humility and courage. Remove what needs to be removed. Restore what needs to be restored. Begin what needs to begin. Do not delay. Mercy does not linger indefinitely. It moves with timing. And right now, it is moving toward you. Step into it. Respond promptly. You will feel the difference almost immediately. The tension will ease. The confusion will lessen. The peace will increase. That is not emotional height. It is the fruit of alignment. It is not too late for you. In fact, you are being given a gracious opportunity to act before deeper consequences unfold. Do not waste that kindness. Receive it. Move within it. Let mercy do its work in you through your obedience. My child, I want to close this portion of our conversation by pressing this truth firmly into your spirit. It is not too late for you. You have not ruined your future. You have not missed your final chance. You have not stepped beyond the reach of restoration. If that were true, you would not be feeling this stirring inside you. The very fact that conviction is alive in your heart is evidence that grace is still active in your life. Do not let shame convince you otherwise. Shame exaggerates failure and minimizes hope. I speak differently. I see your missteps clearly, but I also see your potential vividly. I see who you are becoming when you align with me. I see the stability that can form in you. I see the peace that can grow in you. I see the influence you can carry when your life reflects integrity. None of that has been erased by delay. But you are standing at a decision point. And decision points matter. They define direction. You cannot change yesterday, but you can absolutely shape tomorrow. Do not sit in regret. Stand in responsibility. Accept where you are honestly. Then choose where you will go next. That choice is still available to you. That is grace. That is opportunity. That is hope. Do not tell yourself that you have gone too far to recover. Recovery begins with one sincere step. You can take that step today. You can take it now. Do not postpone it into another season. You are not locked out. The door is still open, but you must walk through it. I will not drag you. I will not force you. I will invite you. And I am inviting you now. Let me go deeper into your fear of being too late. You look at your age. You look at your past. You look at years that feel wasted. You compare your timeline to others and conclude that you are behind. That comparison distorts your perspective. Your journey is not measured against someone else's pace. It is measured by your responsiveness to me. If you respond now, growth begins now. If you act now, restoration begins now. Do not calculate your worth by elapsed time. Calculate it by present obedience. You are not disqualified by delay. You are defined by decision. Make a different decision today and watch how direction shifts. It will not rewrite history, but it will reshape trajectory. You still have influence. You still have purpose. You still have breath. That means you still have opportunity. Do not treat opportunity casually. Embrace it intentionally. Stop rehearsing what you should have done years ago. Focus on what you can do today. Begin there. That beginning may feel small, but it is significant. When you align with me now, I redeem what feels wasted. I repurpose lessons learned through delay. I strengthen you through what once discouraged you. Nothing in your story is unusable when you surrender it. But surrender requires response. Give me your hesitation. Give me your regret. Then step forward with renewed resolve. You are not too late. You are being given another chance to act wisely. Do not squander it. Now hear me clearly, because this is the moment that matters. You are at a crossroads. One path leads to continued delay, familiar excuses, gradual dullness. The other leads to movement, alignment, renewed clarity. I am not threatening you with disaster. I am presenting you with direction. Choose wisely. Choose promptly. Choose courageously. Stop debating internally. Resolve your heart. Speak your decision out loud if you need to. Let it mark this moment as different from previous ones. You are not beyond repair. You are not beyond growth. You are not beyond transformation. But transformation does not happen by accident. It happens by action. Act now. Not tomorrow. Not eventually. Now. I am with you. I am not distant. I am not disappointed beyond hope. I am present. I am guiding. I am inviting. Step forward while the door is open. It is not too late, but you must move. My child, we have come to the edge of this conversation, and I need you to understand the weight and the tenderness of where you are standing. You are not just hearing words. You are being invited into a decision that will mark your life in quiet but powerful ways. The door before you is not imaginary. It is real. It represents alignment, relief, renewed strength, restored clarity. It represents a shift from hesitation to movement, from internal argument to settled agreement. And right now, that door is open. I am not forcing you toward it. I am holding it open with patience. But I will not hold it open forever while you analyze the hinges, measure the frame, and debate the floor beyond it. There comes a moment when invitation must meet response. This is that moment for you. You have listened. You have felt conviction. You have recognized the specific area I have been speaking to in your heart. Do not pretend you have not. Do not walk away and bury this under routine. Stand here with me. Feel the significance. This is not pressure. It is purpose. I am not rushing you into chaos. I am guiding you into coherence. Everything we have spoken about, fear, control, identity, preparation, mercy, consequences, has led you here. The door is not dramatic. It is simple. It is the next obedient step. It is the conversation you need to have. It is the habit you need to break. It is the discipline you need to begin. It is the boundary you need to establish. It is the surrender you need to offer. You already know what it is. I do not need to name it because your spirit has already identified it. Now I am asking you directly, walk through. Do not wait for a louder sign. Do not wait for another confirmation. This is your confirmation. Step forward while your heart is soft. Step forward while your awareness is sharp. Step forward while grace is actively inviting you. I want you to notice something deeply personal. The fact that you are still listening, still reflecting, still considering action means your heart is alive. It has not grown cold. It has not hardened beyond reach. That is a gift. Protect it. Do not allow this moment to become another memory of almost. You have had enough of almost. Almost obedient. Almost consistent. Almost surrendered. That word has lingered too long in your story. Let this be the point where almost ends. Not with noise. Not with spectacle. But with decision. You do not need applause. You need alignment. And alignment begins with willingness followed by action. I am not asking you to leap across an ocean. I am asking you to step across a threshold. It may feel significant because you have delayed it, but it is still one step. Take it deliberately. Take it prayerfully. Take it without rehearsing every possible outcome. I am on the other side of that step, not watching from a distance but walking beside you into what comes next. When you move, you will feel something release inside you. The tension you have been carrying will loosen. The subtle strain that has been draining your energy will begin to lift. That relief is not fantasy. It is the natural fruit of obedience. You were created for alignment. When you resist it, you feel friction. When you embrace it, you feel peace. Choose peace. Choose movement. Choose growth. You have the authority to decide. Use it. Let me speak plainly and personally as we close. I love you too much to let you remain stagnant. I care about your future too deeply to let you drift. I see who you are becoming, and I am invested in that becoming. You are not late in the way you fear. You are not disqualified. You are not beyond restoration. But you are responsible for your response. Do not confuse my patience with permission to postpone indefinitely. Patience is kindness. Kindness is not complacency. I am calling you upward. I am calling you forward. And I am calling you now. Take a breath. Quiet your racing thoughts. Stop calculating. Stop negotiating. Stop postponing. Decide. Speak your yes clearly. Then act in alignment with it before this day ends. Send the message. Make the appointment. Delete what needs deleting. Start what needs starting. Kneel and pray with sincerity. Whatever your step is, take it. Mark this day in your memory as the day you chose obedience over delay. You will look back on it with gratitude. I promise you that. I am with you as you move. I am strengthening you as you step. The door is open. Walk through it. The door is open before you. Not only the door of obedience, but the door of impact. When you choose to support this work through Super Thanks, by becoming a member, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are stepping through into partnership with me in reaching souls. I have always multiplied the loaves placed in my hands, What seems small in yours becomes abundance in mine. This channel is a lamp, and your generosity is the oil that keeps it burning brightly across nations. If you have been strengthened, imagine the ones still waiting for this message to find them. I tell you now, as surely as I parted seas and raised valleys, what you sow in faith I will return in favor, protection, and increase. Let this not be another almost. Walk through the door. Give boldly. Act now.